Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny. That is Sal. And today we're going to try something a little bit new. But if you like to see a couple of guys sitting around talking about all the latest news and rumors going on in the world of superhero movies and comic book shows, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and joining the Absolute family today. Sal, you legit look like you froze. I thought we were going to have to redo that. You had the perfect still image of you froze.
That's what happens when I don't move.
All right, so today's going to be a new idea. Sal and I had this great idea to basically start answering outstanding questions that people might have about various things. So you'll see what we're going to do in a second here for a weekly show, and then leave your questions to see what our thoughts on those down below. So today's topic is, should villains die? And we're going to look at the DCEU, and we'll look at the MCU, see how they handle these. So Sal, what are your initial thoughts? Should every movie kill its villain?
No, it's a terrible idea. They always do it, and we've seen it. We have like 40 years of history showing you what happens when they kill the villains. They have to come up with new villains. They are always diminishing returns, and then they have to reboot the franchise.
Right.
Starting even with like Zod.
The reason I bring this up is No Way Home, spoiler discussion real quick here, brought back a lot of old villains.
Right.
And we've never seen that done in a superhero film. Not in this manner where they truly just came back.
No,
I think the closest we had was Baron Zemo doing a dance on Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yes, Baron Zemo returned. They even the MCU, who hasn't killed all their villains, doesn't bring all of them back. And it's kind of like, if you're going to take your P's and Q's from the comics, which have recurring villains, why not have recurring villains? Abomination showed up in Shang-Chi for like a half second. So it's like, hey, we're still using a couple of...
That was such a waste. That was such a waste, just a cameo Abomination like that. Like
that was to in canon explain, hey, we've redesigned him. He looks a little better now. Like that was all they did. Also, he's like working in league with Wong, so he's not even a villain anymore. Like, give me a break. So, no, they shouldn't keep killing it. It's more like, is it earned? You know, like, as much as I don't agree with the decision in Man of Steel to kill Zod, his character arc is that. It's to die, right?
Yeah.
Like, his whole, like, journey is death. And the death of Zod makes Superman go through this whole change and journey. Of course, then they bring him back in BVS as Doomsday, but I don't really count that. But like, if it's earned, or if it's part of an arc.
That was such a weird decision to bring him back as Doomsday. Like,
what a weird idea.
Why did they bring back Zod? Like, why even, if you're going to use Doomsday in that way, you could do a whole thing on Doomsday.
Yep.
Like, I like the Zack Snyder universe, but that decision was just weird. Just bring back Zod.
It was very weird. It was a weird choice. But, but for contrast, in Spider-Man 2002, Green Goblin does die. Like, that's what he does. So for him to die at the end of that arc actually made a lot of sense. Like, that worked. It was just when they killed Doc Ock, and it was like, oh, man, you gonna keep doing this? And it's like, yeah, unless it's Sandman. And then it's like,
X-Men does the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, the only way that they didn't kill Magneto, the only reason they didn't kill Magneto at any point is because they turned him into a pseudo good guy. Like, they wanted him to work with them. That was and that was from the get-go. That wasn't even like
even
from
more
the
corporately, they wanted to make a Magneto movie.
Yeah. So that was the whole reason that existed.
Yeah, exactly. No, keep Magneto around. That actually is kind of cool that they didn't kill him at the end. Like, I'm actually kind of amazed that at the end of X-Men, they didn't murder Magneto. But that was a good indication that, like, things are changing. That maybe these superhero movies are going to keep their villains around a little longer. That was in 2000, so I was wrong. But, you know.
But I mean, No Way Home kind of shows that maybe they're going to start coming back. Like, maybe, Sal, we'll finally find out where Justin Hammer went.
Oh, my God. Well, he'd better be in Armor Wars. Let me tell you something. That's like, Justin Hammer was an opportunity every time. At least they didn't kill him at the end of Iron Man 2. Like, he just went to jail because he's a regular person.
He's a regular. If they have any form of powers, they're normally just. I mean, Baron Zemo survived, then he's a regular person.
Right.
So maybe that's the rule. If you have powers, it's like the old horror movie rule.
Yeah.
If you had sex, you're going to die.
That's right. If you have powers, you're fair game. I mean, look at Infinity War. Look at every single member of the Black Order is murdered.
Yeah, every member. Like, and for people who don't know, in the world of comic books, Thanos was only recently murdered. Right. Thanos has been around for like 60 years and just gets away. The movies use him
fakes
twice.
His own death. Like Thanos has died like 5 times, but each time he dies, he's like, "That was a clone," or "I set off a bomb and I ran away." Or,
I think right now is the first time he's legitimately been dead.
He's not dead.
Wait, did he come back finally?
Yeah, he's in Eternals.
Oh, I'm not reading. Oh wait, the comic, not the movie, right?
Oh, in the movies, yes. In the comic books, Thanos is alive and he's in the book Eternals.
Okay, the last thing I read was the Guardians one where they were trying to find a way to bring him back. They were already working on that angle.
No, he's already back. He's been back. No, Thanos has been back. But
the point I'm making is, like, in comics, villains don't die, and the reason is simple. Comics are circular, and the movies are becoming circular as well. We're doing that. We're now starting over. Here's the new lineup and the new Avengers, and so why do we so who are they supposed to fight? Like, all of Iron Man's villains are gone. Yeah. Captain America already fought most of his villains, and the ones that survived got into a show.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're starting to learn their lesson. Maybe that was the role with Baron Zemo and why he got put back in. And they even brought back, what was the name? It was the robot. They used him again.
Not Ultron.
No, he was in What If. They used him in What If.
Oh. Well, Ultron came back in What If, yeah.
Right. But there was another one that was murdered. He was the robot computer thing that they just deactivated.
Oh, Zola.
Zola, that's it. They kind of brought him back with What If as well.
Yeah, they bring him back every time they can. It's actually kind of funny. I'm like, wow, all right, Zola again? Good for you. I mean, he's a computer consciousness. You can bring him back. I'm shocked that Ultron hasn't been returned.
That one makes sense. Like, I get it. Vision deleted him, but even in comics, he's been deleted multiple times.
Yeah, there's always a backup. There's always an Ultron drone. Like, there's always an Ultron.
That was literally the plot to What If. We can't get rid of him because there's always a backup Ultron drone.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'll take it if you want to make him a cosmic villain, throw him into space.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But so you don't agree, and I've never really agreed with them murdering villains every single movie. Because
the Joker in his first movie, like, come on, like
I
in Batman
like
'89, they kill the Joker, and at the end of the movie, I'm like, really?
That's one thing that always blew my mind too. Because in the comics, they make this big stand about Superman and Batman will never kill their villains, and then we get into the movies, and Superman's like, snap his neck, throw him in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, Batman's like,
over
tie
here.
his ankle to a friggin' gargoyle. Let's see him walk away from that.
That's what I'm saying. Like. And then the Avengers, at least in the comics, they line up like, we will murder you. We're going to try to bring you to justice.
The Avengers didn't used to do that. The Avengers used to, they put their own members on trial if they were suspected of murdering somebody. Their own personal tribunal, but like still, these Avengers are like, no, we're basically just stooges. We murder people if we need to. I mean,
they're like murder hobos in a D&D campaign.
That's right. They just storm in. I mean,
are you going to turn yourself in? No. Shield to the head.
Right? Like, why do you think Strucker was so afraid at the beginning of Age of Ultron? Because he's like, these people are going to come in and murder me. Like, Hulk tried to kill Loki. It's just that Loki is made of tougher stuff. But like,
he slammed him like it doesn't. Like, we all use it as a funny joke, but he literally was just beating him into the ground.
Right. But if that was like Dr. Erskine or some other random human being, they'd be paced.
Just paced on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very okay with the idea of like the villain getting away. I know that it like seems kind of like Dr. Claw, Inspector Gadgety to have like at the end of this big $200 million superhero epic to have the villain go, yeah, but like that's what they do, or they're at least
that is what they do
around.
I would prefer, you don't need to do them, let them die. And just mid-credits. You use all these mid-credits for a joke. Give me one mid-credits that implies that this villain could have survived.
Right.
Leave it ambiguous so you can reuse him.
They do that more in horror movies than they do in superhero movies.
Horror movies, like, they literally kill Michael every single time.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, it's like, oh, but he's alive. Same thing with Jason.
Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, even the Scream guy, like everybody dies. And then at the end or at the post-credits scene, they're like, wink. Come on.
I mean, no, instead we want to do a joke sequence in every Marvel movie at this point. Like,
that's another.
Or now at this point, play a full trailer. We're at a point where they just play a full trailer.
Just a full ass trailer.
I mean, you could have taken 2 seconds to the end of Spider-Man, just shown us. Because I wondered this. This once again is a spoiler for Spider-Man: No Way Home. I've already mentioned a couple things from it, but So he redeemed all the villains, right?
Right.
Didn't they all go back to when they died?
I mean, they go back to where they were. I mean, I can imagine, because people said, like, oh, well, if Doc Ock shows back up and he gets control of the arms anyway. Like, Ock's fate is pretty much the same, unless, Ock has a different idea. Like, hey, we'll work together.
Because unless I misremember, doesn't he have the realization what was happening at the end before he dies?
Yes.
Like, he gains full control and he's like, oh no, what have I done? Ah!
Yeah, well, he says, what have I done? And then he goes, I will deal with it. Like, we can't stop the miniature sun. And then he says, wait, no, I got it. Like, we've got to drown it in the river. And Spider-Man goes to do it. He says, no, I'll do it. It's my responsibility. Now, they could have worked together to do it, and then no one dies, except the wall would still fall on Mary Jane. But, like, I know that movie very well. But, like, the point is, like, when Electro shows back up in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he's like, I'm all tapped out. Like, let's say, like, he's doing the Itsy Bitsy Spider on dubstep, and then he shows back up. He's like, blump. Peter's just going to be like, oh, Max, that's great. Okay, cool. And then maybe he saves Gwen at the end. Like, I don't know.
I saw that. I saw that going around Twitter that somebody put out their idea that when they go back into that universe for Max Dillon and Spider-Man, Spider-Man goes to catch Gwen, still doesn't catch her, but Max Dillon catches her.
That would break his arms off.
Don't look at the physics of it, Sal. It'd be amazing. The redeemed Max Dillon catches Gwen.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, how is he going to do that? I'm okay with the idea of, like, especially with this, like, multiverse idea going, you know what? We had a good 20-year run of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, where we know how it ends. But you know what? Now it ends differently. We're going to send Gobby back to before he dies, and he's cured, and he just doesn't summon the Gobby glider. So Doc Ock, so Norman never dies. So Harry never has the pathos that he has. Peter and Harry stay friends. Norman goes to jail. Everything changes, and just see where that goes. That'd be interesting.
So what if the MCU uses the lazy excuse of bringing back villains they have killed because of the multiverse?
Right, and just puts them in this universe? Because, like, for me, I really liked Electro's arc in No Way Home, where he's like, everyone else is just like, I want to go home, or I hate this, or I'm going to kill you. Electro's like, I really like the MCU. Can I stay here?
Yeah, I know. Like, Stark Tech? Why not?
Right? Like, I'm all in. I'll be an Iron Man villain. I don't care what it takes, but I'll be in the MCU. And I'm like, yes, stay. Hell, you could do. Because we pitched this idea of, like, Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man in the Venomverse.
Yeah.
Have him deal with Max Dillon, who's obsessed with trying to get back to the MCU.
I mean, that's another comic book plot where you have guys from other universes or who did better in another universe. I mean, there's a whole arc in the DC comics after all the rings come out during the Green Lantern event where Lex is like, I want my ring back.
Right.
Like, where is this thing that I had?
They're members of the JSA who used to be comic book characters. Like, these characters are like, I'm like, Power Girl is a complicated mess of a character from another universe or reality or not. And she's like, I don't know, I just make it work here. You know? That's a great, fun trope. I like the idea of Electro just being like, I live in the MCU now. I'm the Electro of the MCU.
What if we get another Amazing Spider-Man now that they revived him and it's just him trying to get back?
That'd be fun.
Get his powers back and he's trying to get... Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, and especially he's like, oh, Max, you have your old tricks. He's like, no, I just want to open a portal to get out of here.
I want to leave. I'll deal with that other Spider-Man.
Exactly. He seems way more distracted.
All right, so I think the gist of the topic here is that villains should not die.
Not all the time. I get it if it, like, really is thematically relevant to the plot, but, like, for the
Thanos death, I think was earned and
you gotta
warranted.
kill Thanos. You can't have him running around. Like, you gotta kill Thanos.
He's just gonna come back with a bigger army. Like, the way the MCU set up Thanos, he wasn't gonna move to the next plan. He was just gonna go get more people.
Right, and the comic books, like, it's diminishing returns for Thanos. Like, there are good Thanos stories, but most of them are very, like, Jim Starlin-y, where he's literally like, well, the Infinity Gauntlet didn't work out. I guess I'll go get some other thing with the word infinity in it that is more powerful so I could be in charge of everything. And it's like, dude, diminishing returns, man. Like, so just kill him in this movie. Like, that's fine. But By
So
and
what
large,
villains would you want to keep then in the MCU?
Yellow Jacket shouldn't have died at the end.
No.
I mean, I don't like him necessarily, but I rewatched Ant-Man recently and I was like, he's kind of fun. Like, I'd like to see what he would do in another story.
Well, not only that, but Ant-Man doesn't have a lot of villains to pull from here, guys.
Well, and Yellow Jacket still isn't one of them. So what the hell? But Ironmonger, I would have loved to have seen Obadiah Stane stick
Killmonger.
around. Killmonger.
I wish
Duh.
Killmonger, like story wise, I get his stance.
Yeah.
But you still could have just put him in a prison cell. I think it also would have fixed the whole Black Panther situation where everyone's debating what to do. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah. Killmonger, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, most of the Black Order, I mean, you
Black Order you could have kept because you could have reused them and their plans, even if they just ran into the Guardians.
Right. Oh,
Ego?
Ronan.
Ego would have been great. Ego's a planet. He didn't need to die.
No,
per
it's
se.
like, oh, that's a shame. I guess they'll kill Galactus, and when he shows back up, there's everyone except for Spider-Man who doesn't kill his, Ultron. I still say Ultron, like you could always backdoor into some other resurrection.
I'm trying to think of other significant villains.
And I don't believe that Mysterio is dead, so because I just don't buy it.
Well, that's his whole thing, though. Of all the villains that could fake his death,
Mysterio is the one, right?
And maybe they'll use that. Maybe he's the one guy that knows who Peter Parker is.
There you go. There's so many. Every movie. Name a Marvel movie.
Dormammu.
Crap.
Is Dormammu dead?
Nah, he's just stuck in a time loop.
I mean, that's kind of dead, though, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, Caecilius. He's dead.
Which one's Caecilius?
The sub-villain in Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his name.
the Mads Mikkelsen character. Every Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I think they killed Novar or whatever. Like,
yeah. Captain Marvel doesn't have very many direct villains. You made one. Why did you kill him?
Yeah.
Especially, you had Jude Law. I mean,
Jude Law. He's so great.
Yeah. Like, why?
Nope. Dead. Yeah. Every Guardians.
So basically, what we're getting at is like every villain. Every villain should have not died. Like,
Baron Strucker, he's dead. It's weird.
Who was the villain in Iron Man 3? I can't remember.
Oh, Killian.
Oh yeah,
that was Guy Pearce.
That was a weird.
He can
movie.
stay dead. That's fine.
Yeah.
That wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, they kind of brought back Mandarin though. Like
Mandarin's
he's now back,
here. Yeah,
but then they killed him.
Didn't they kill him in Shang-Chi?
They did. Did you not see Shang-Chi yet?
No, I saw it in theaters.
I didn't. Wait, no. Where did I see that? I don't know. Either way, they killed him at the end.
Yeah, that's right. They kill him at the end. And I remember being like, "Are you shitting me?"
He goes through a full redemption arc and he gets killed.
Yep. Nope. Make way for his daughter.
Guys, we fixed Mandarin and killed him.
And he's dead. Right? We've had 3 Mandarins. Now he's dead. Nailed it.
We got it, right? We did it properly. It's not racist anymore or culturally insensitive.
Right.
You all good?
Yeah.
Kill him.
Oh, Malekith, he shouldn't have died. Great actor. How weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and Malekith is one of the villains that does fake his death, disappear, and then come back with an army. Like, that's like part of his thing.
And that'd be kind of cool. It'd be cool to see Malekith get redeemed, or redeemed in terms of making him even more scary and interesting. I'm just thinking of every villain. Oh, Red Skull. He's a ghost.
But he did come back.
He did come back. I brownie points.
Who was the Ragnarok villain? Hela. Hela died.
Hela died? No, Hela didn't die. No,
did she die?
Well, she did, but like you can see when Surtur is smashing, you see her her teleport. So like
okay. So that was one of those out moments where we're like, she's dead, but we could use her again. All right, do that more, Marvel.
Right?
You can have your finale. The villain is gone. The casual moviegoer is happy with the conclusion.
Exactly.
And the rest of us are like, ooh, Hela.
Yeah. Well, and then you have room to do like acts of vengeance and be like, put Hela against the Guardians, or put Malekith against Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I want to see you swapping these villains and just trying them all out.
That'd
really
be interesting
cool.
to see Malekith against Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, against street level characters, they're like, is that a friggin' elf?
I would love to just see them be like, does anyone have Thor on speed dial?
Right? I don't know where he is. Oh, he's in. They go to New Asgard. They get Valkyrie. She hangs out with them. Valkyrie teams up with new Captain America.
We should be making these movies, Sal. That's the end of this.
It's just giving you something that like maybe you've seen before, but like you've never seen on screen before. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So there you go. That's this new series. We want to once a week sit down and discuss big questions we get asked. And I get asked that one a lot. The questions like, should they kill villains? So leave us some questions down below. We're going to start pulling from those for this weekly show where Sal and I give you our opinions on overarching things that are happening within the world of TV shows or movies. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to join this channel. We put out nearly daily content over here about all kinds of superhero TV shows, movies, and discussions, rumors, reviews. We do it all here. We'd love to have you part of the absolute armada. See you guys next time, right here.